fact, we were talking about shooting some mezcal last week, getting into your office, but I told him...
You touch my mezcal,
yeah, I know.
there's going to be trouble.
They
were,
they were trying to... Some of your guys, they were trying to get me in trouble, like get me in the mash tun in my underwear. So I'm like, you just want me to do it so you don't get in trouble. But there was some shenanigans going on, and I was like, you touch his mezcal, bro, it's going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be on.
Yeah, it's going to be on. So since I saved your mezcal, we'll have to take a shot of that.
All right, we can do
soon.
that.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm John, co-founder and brewmaster of Warped Wing Brewing Company.
And I'm Nick, co-founder and vice president of sales and marketing at Warped Wing.
Now what?
You got to name the podcast. You got to.
Do we have a name for the podcast?
Yeah, it's Share A Pint, our Share A Pint podcast.
This is our Share A Pint podcast. That's like a good.
Yeah, well, I'd be a little less formal.
Guy. I apologize. So I'm not good at podcasting. That's okay. This is not my natural environment, but welcome to our podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on here at Warped Wing, both in the brewery and what we're throwing out into the market, some of the stuff we got coming up in the kitchen, in the tap room. So, yeah, let's get to it. All right. So, Nick, you got anything you want to update us with?
Yeah, man. First off, how about this weather we're having finally?
Yeah, you look good in shorts.
Yeah, my first shorts day of the year. I'm pretty happy about that. I usually associate short weather with beer selling weather.
Yeah.
And so we're ramping up. Finally, going to get the lawnmowers out, which means lawnmower beers. And
dude, I cut my grass for the first time yesterday.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. I got a big lawn, so I'm gearing up for it this weekend.
Yeah.
And I've got plenty of beer in the fridge.
It's supposed to rain, by the way.
I know. But you know what? The weathermen, they're never accurate.
Well, that's why I did mine, because it was getting like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting real. Well, you live in Oakwood too. They have stipulations.
Well, yeah, we got standards, baby.
Yeah. I'm out in the urban country, so not as stringent there. All right, let's get into it. John, what's been keeping you busy the last couple of weeks?
Well, nothing. I was on vacation last week, which was great. That's why I look so tan.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you out in the sun at all?
I was a little bit, yeah, every day.
Did you must have put in like sunblock 100 because you're not that tan.
No, yeah, I did. Well, I don't want to burn, baby.
Did you have any?
I sat by the pool and drank beer. I put in a good 8 or 9 hours by the pool every day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Did you have any interesting beers down there?
I did go one evening. We went out for cheeseburgers at the Fort Myers Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the beer was pretty good. They have a beer called Mosaic Grouper, which is their hazy IPA.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, I like Mosaic hops, and I like Grouper, so, I went.
Did they have Grouper fingers?
They did not have Grouper fingers, but I did have Grouper at a different restaurant a couple nights later. But beer was really nice beer. It's a nice place. Simple setup, but I would recommend it for anybody that might be coming from this part of the country down to Florida, down to Fort Myers. It was a nice little brewery.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we definitely missed you while you were gone. I did not go anywhere, but I did have some good beers as well. Gamma Juice. I had plenty of Gamma Juice.
Oh, yeah,
I also had some Mr. Mean in your honor.
Oh yeah.
That beer just gets it done, man. After a hard day's work.
Oh boy, it does. Yeah.
Hard day's work on Saturday. It just really puts you in a relaxing mood. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's like 8.5%. So.
Yeah. You don't have to drink as many if you drink one or two of those. So.
Yeah. What was that? I'm not going to say it, but it was like that Ice Cube thing for, what was it, like Cobra malt liquor or something?
Yeah, today was a good day or whatever.
No, that wasn't the thing.
Oh, sorry.
Never mind.
Sorry. Well, it was while you were goofing around by the pool and drinking beers. It was a busy week last week. We had the Ohio Craft Brewers Conference.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was a good show, man.
They delayed the winter conference this year.
Yeah, because of the blizzard.
So it was this past week instead, and then we hosted a hospitality party for everybody. So we had 250 people at the brewery from around the state. Yeah,
every bit, man. And we were jamming on Tuesday night, and it was great to see a lot of friendly faces that I haven't seen in a long time. A lot of brewery friends, and some really good really good seminars, man. Some good keynote speakers. Hospitality was one of the big buzzwords of the conference. And some really, you know, some of our cohorts out there putting on some nice seminars, and some people from outside the brewery life. You know, we had some team members there. Your team was there.
Yeah. One of our brewers, Chris Warman, gave a talk on fermenting under pressure.
Under pressure, and he did good talking under pressure. I know, you know, public speaking is a tough thing, but he did a really nice job. I actually attended that seminar and thought he did a really nice job. Had some engagement from the crowd, and so yeah, it was a good week. And then we had the event. Our kitchen team did a heck of a job putting on a nice spread. We had some smoked chicken, some smoked pork, some sides. Got some compliments on the food, and then our bartending staff did a really nice job. They kept it moving. There was, you know, a few beers being drank that night, and
I'm sure. I got some photos from you guys.
Oh yeah, we sent we from the brewery with love.
Yeah,
you know, you got
love.
Yeah, it's from some of your best friends there, and we were thinking about you.
Yeah, I could tell.
But yeah, and on the sales side, it's been a busy week. You know, end of the month, our sales team has been rocking. You know, it's been challenging out there in the first quarter, but you know, we finished pretty well this week. We got a lot of beer and some soda out there in the market, so I think we're primed for a good second quarter. You know, coming out, we've got the weather on our side, and you know, you can definitely tell that people are ready to get back out there and drink some beer. You know, even
I am.
Well, obviously we are. You know, but part of, I think, Share A Pint podcast is reminding people how cool it is to drink beer and the occasions that go with it. And I think, you know, you can definitely feel the vibe in the tap rooms. In fact, I just drove by last night on the way home from a basketball game, and the patio was jamming.
Sweet.
You know, so I think that once the weather breaks, people are looking for excuses to get out and grab a beer and, you know, bring their dogs out. I saw a couple pups on the patio. It was a good sign of what's to come as we get into, you know, further into spring and into the summer season.
Fantastic. That's awesome. What about Easter, dude? Easter's coming up this coming weekend. You got a special beer picked out you're going to drink for Easter dinner?
You know what? No, I've been digging that Gamma Juice.
Yeah.
You know, that's a new beer for us, just launched this year, and we're getting some really positive feedback from the market on it, and friends of mine, myself included, it's been my go-to recently.
Good.
I like it because it kind of has the best of both worlds for me. It's kind of like, it has the attributes of Gamma Bomb, that West Coast vibe to it with the hops and stuff, and then it also has that hazy, tropical fruit finish, so it's like the best of both worlds for me. So I'm really digging that beer right now. Good. So for Easter, I'll be probably eating ham and drinking Gamma Juice.
Yeah, I think that's a good pairing.
Thank you. I feel good about it.
Might throw like a slice of pineapple on that ham.
You know, I'm going to my in-laws' house. They're hosting. They're excited to host.
Well, you should call them up and tell them that you expect some pineapple on your ham to pair it with your beer.
Yeah, that would definitely match that tropical fruit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so thank you for that suggestion.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. That's what I'm here for.
Awesome promotion. Apparently, Gamma Bomb and Gamma Juice are in the finals of our
Well, that's what I just found out.
Smokery bracket.
I just heard that.
Taproom tournament, excuse me.
Yeah.
I've been
that makes sense. I mean, Gamma Bomb's our biggest
Number one.
seller. Gamma Juice is new, so it's kind of a wild card.
Yeah.
Does that make it to Cinderella?
Yeah, I would say so, because you don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. So may the best beer win.
I hope so. I'm sure it will. All right. Well, we got a couple of things that we're releasing this week, I think, right? Like what's here on the table in package, the Liquid Picnic, which is a Saison, and then this manager's meeting, which is a Doppelbock that we aged in Amaro and Mezcal barrels and then blended back together, which I have to give a lot of credit to Victor over at Land Grant. He and I put this collab together, but he was the one that suggested that we use the manager's meeting cocktail as the inspiration.
Cool.
So that was really a really good idea, I think. So, you know, it's an interesting pairing. Amaro can be a little bit licorice, spicy. Mezcal, of course, can be a little smoky. Doppelbock can be a little bit nutty and sweet. And so there's a lot going on there, and getting them to fall out into the right proportion can be can be tricky, but it seemed to work. So I was pretty happy with the way that turned out. It's a little bit of a roll of the dice, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I would tell you the beer's fantastic, man. And we rolled it out as a special treat to our friends at the OCBA on Tuesday night. We got a lot of good comments on it.
That's
so
good, yeah.
and people took bottles home too. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting combo. You know me, I love a good Doppelbock as a base beer. I've never had Amaro. Obviously, I love Mezcal. In fact, we were talking about shooting some Mezcal last week, getting into your office. But I told him,
You touch my Mezcal,
yeah, I know.
it's going to be trouble.
They
Well,
were,
at least if you
they
touch
were
it
trying
without
to.
me.
Some of your guys, they were trying to get me in trouble, like get me in the mash tun in my underwear or something. Like, I'm like, you just want me to do it so you don't get in trouble. But there was some shenanigans going on, and I was like, you touch his Mezcal, bro, it's gonna be.
Yeah, then it's going to be on.
Yeah, it's gonna be on. So, since I saved your Mezcal, we'll have to take a shot of that.
All right, we can do
soon.
that.
Yeah, but the beer's awesome, very unique, and obviously a collaboration with our friends at Land Grant. This is a 2-part collaboration. They made a beer
About this time last year.
last spring, and then we took on the barrel aged portion. So now it's our turn. Beer's hitting the market this week. It's releasing on Thursday in the tap room, so be on the lookout for that. And then in the wholesale market as well, up in Columbus, be on the lookout for that, as well as Dayton Market. And then we also have a fan favorite coming back.
Yeah, Liquid
this
Picnic.
week. Yeah.
This is always a fun beer to make. I like Saison because it's a light-bodied beer. It's fairly dry. There's a lot of yeast, spicy phenolic notes in it that make it really, really interesting to drink. When we make this, the malt bill is really simple. It's mostly, like a Pilsner malt. There's nothing fancy to it. And we don't have any, super weird fancy hops in it like you do, like in the Gamma Juice, or, we're using, Solero hops, which are this weird German, new variety of hop. So it's really the yeast that makes this beer what it is, which is a really, it's a fun exercise in that regard because it's a little bit different lever to pull when you're creating flavor. So when we make this beer, we do a blend of 3 different yeasts that we get from our yeast supplier.
That's cool.
Yeah, because the Saison yeasts they're really finicky. Like some of them don't like to start.
Yeah.
Some of them
They don't like
to
to work.
finish.
Yeah.
Right? Some don't like to finish. Some will start out, they start out great and then they kind of peter out, right? And it's just, whatever they do, they all have a different sort of thing that they're good at in terms of just executing the fermentation, and then of course they all have a slightly different flavor profile that they kick in. And so we try to balance that out by putting in multiple different yeast strains into the fermentation. And
That's cool.
Yeah, so it sort of works itself out. I need to start and finish in a timely manner. We're a production company, so I can't just go stick it in the corner and let it sit there for 6 months.
Yeah. We got to
get going, But also because I think it creates a broader flavor profile across the beer instead of becoming unidimensional and like a single note, right? So I really enjoy making this beer for that reason, because it's just different exercise. The other thing that we do when we make this beer, because we're trying to promote some of those unique flavors that the yeast kicks out. So like on most culture yeast beers, we'll go in, like if we're making a lager, we're going to ferment at say 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or if we're making an ale, we're going to ferment around 68 degrees Fahrenheit or something. So when we make this beer, we'll knock it out from the brew house into the fermenter, and we'll pitch the yeast around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. But then we don't turn the cooling jackets on, right?
No.
So normally in a fermentation, you're producing heat as a byproduct, as well as CO2 and alcohol. But you want to control the rate that the fermentation is running by controlling the temperature of the fermentation, right? So that it kind of stays at an even temperature through the whole fermentation, so you don't get any of these weird flavors. But in when you're making Saison, you want those, right?
That's
and
cool.
so we don't even turn the jackets on. We set it at 70 and then let it rip, and it gets up, into the mid 90 degrees Fahrenheit at its peak, right? And then you just kind of, so the jackets never even turn on. You could make this in an unjacketed tank if you
Really?
wanted to. Yeah. Then you
very
just got to figure out how to get it cold. Now, we do have to get it cold at the end.
Yeah.
Just like we do with every beer when we go to package, right? So when you're carbonating beer, you're basically applying what's called Henry's law of physics, right?
I've heard you mention Henry before.
Yeah, Henry and I, we were good buddies. So Henry's law states that the temperature of any given liquid will dictate how much gas it can retain in solution, temperature and pressure. So the colder the beer is and the more pressure you put it under, the more gas it's going to want to retain in solution. So that's how we get the beer to carbonate. And then that's also why we fill cold, right? Because if we were filling beer at room temperature, then all the CO2 would want to come out between the filling valve and where you put the lid on and the seamer. By having it cold, it keeps that from happening. We kind of control it, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I didn't know that you use 3 different yeast strains. You might have told me that, but we haven't made this beer.
It's been
in a few years. This was one that was a fan favorite, and it's definitely a team favorite. I mean, just hearing you talk affectionately about it, but we as a sales team really like it too. And I love this time of year, as a seasonal. It's spring is a hard seasonal, but like Saison just seems to fit really well.
Yeah.
Because it's really refreshing.
Yep.
It has some of those funky, cool flavors to it. And there's a good history here. There's some fun facts with this beer. In fact, the name of this beer, do you remember where it came from?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, our attorneys.
Yeah, our attorneys took us out to dinner one night.
Yeah,
and
it
we
was
probably
a ballpark.
probably overserved ourselves or something. And they came up with that. Well, you should name a beer liquid picnic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's funny because when you happen to run a brewery or own a brewery or something, and you're at a party with your friends and colleagues and stuff, that is what you are subjected to.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, dude, I got a great idea for a
your
beer
next
name.
idea.
Yeah, I got this great name for you. It's like constant. And no offense to anybody that's ever done that to me. I try to play along. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay, but you never use any of them.
Yeah,
right?
until
this one.
Shout out to Adam and Kevin,
Yeah.
our famous attorneys. We love you guys.
Yeah.
And thank you for this awesome name. It just fits,
Yeah.
It sounds like a spring event. I want to go have a liquid picnic, and you know
Yeah.
what that means, man.
Yeah.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
Also, we won a advertising award on this
Yeah,
can
that's right. You
this
did.
can
Yeah.
label. Jill Brewer. Jill Brewer was the artist behind the liquid picnic can label, and very, very cool, very detailed artwork. Tara, I know, has reformulated a little bit to fit into our new can labels, and we've got a new font here as well. So it's kind of a throwback that's coming back with a new, fresh look to it. So I'm excited to see what this beer does out in the market. I'm excited to have one myself this Thursday at all of our tap rooms. Come get a liquid picnic or grab a manager's meeting if you like the big, bold, barrel-aged beers. But
Is manager's meeting, that's just available in the tap rooms, right? Or is that going out in the wholesale market?
it's going to go out in the whosale market. Yeah, we're going to send some to Columbus.
Okay.
Our friends at Land Grant are going to get some, but it's very limited.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was only like 70 cases or something.
Yeah,
it was
one a lot.
Yeah, very small batch. I think you told me those barrels aren't cheap. Those are some nice barrels, right? That you
Yeah,
aged,
they were priced. I mean, anytime bourbon barrels aren't too bad. At the high point, bourbon barrels were maybe $2.20, $2.25. But now they're back down to like $1.75. I mean, when I first started doing barrel aging,
something's come down. Prices have come down on some. Damn.
Well, and I'll tell you why. It's kind of interesting the way the barrel market works. But when I first started doing barrel aged beer years ago, you could get them delivered for about $25.
That's amazing.
So they're still up compared to where they were.
Yeah.
But bourbon is really the only spirit that has a requirement for new, American oak, virgin barrels. The other spirits, Scotch, tequila, mezcal, rum, fill in the blank. They don't have any sort of requirements around, the barrel being new and unused.
Yeah.
And so we went through this phase, pretty much from about, the time we hit the millennia until, recently, where all the distilleries were just in let's crank it out mode, and so they were just laying as much liquor back as they could. And so there was a lot of demand on the barrels, not just from brewers, but from other distillers, right? So now that's all kind of evaporated. Everyone reads all these, alarming stories in the news and whatever about alcohol consumption and so forth, and how that's slowing down. And it is. That's not untrue. But because of that, these other distilleries aren't laying back spirit at the same rate they were, which means as bourbon manufacturers empty barrels and have these barrels, there's not homes for them, so that you're starting to see the pressure come down and therefore the price come down on the barrels.
Wow, that's interesting. We're definitely seeing and hearing that out in the market with the spirits companies.
Now Amaro and Mezcal, right? That's not bourbon.
Yeah.
Right. Those probably were. The Mezcal was definitely bourbon at one point. The Amaro, I don't recall. That might have been a wine barrel before it was an Amaro barrel. But those are really obscure liquors, right? I mean, Mezcal is not. It's not like you can't go find them at the liquor store. You can. But they don't sell historically in the volume of, say, bourbon.
Yeah.
Right. And so there aren't as many of those available. In fact, they're really hard to find. It took 4 or 5 months to even locate the barrels.
Oh wow!
And then once we had them, you gotta pay a price for that, because I'm not the only one that wants that, and there's only a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
And so those we had to pay a premium for, and so we actually have made a second beer in those barrels, right? And we did that intentionally because that's already, to your point, that's already an expensive beer to make.
Yeah.
It would have been more expensive if I wasn't able to spread the cost of those barrels over a couple of different batches of beer, right? And so, we'll see what the next one turns out like, and I don't know when that's coming out. They're already full, and we're sitting on them.
Well, and we don't want to divulge everything.
No, we can't give away all our secrets, but we've got something back.
I think that's cool, though. I don't think a lot of people realize that, you can use barrels, a second use or even third use. And I know you've done some of that over, our 12 years, blending stuff back with first use. The whole barrel aging thing is fascinating to me. It's very kind of romantic process, and it's cool, that you can get some really unique barrels like that, and not only use them for one beer, but then reuse them and make something else.
Yeah. So we try to be. There aren't a lot of rules in barrel aging. I don't like to put a lot of rules on it because hey, if you put it together and it works, hey, great.
Yeah.
And that's really true in beer as a whole, but there's a couple of rules that you got to follow, and one of them is you can't empty the barrel and then leave it empty for a couple of days or a week and then refill it. Right now with spirits, when you do that, because the spirit is strong enough, or even wine is strong enough that, and there's typically not any residual sugars there, that the barrel will remain microbiologically stable, right? But once you put beer in it, beer has residual sugars in it, and beer typically isn't as strong as spirit and wine and so forth. So when you empty it, then if you're going to reuse it, you want to refill it immediately. When I do it, I prefer to do it like the same day. Like I'm emptying it this morning. As soon as all the barrels that we're emptying are done, we turn around and we refill them immediately. So they may only be empty for like an hour.
Yeah, that's good.
Just in order to prevent anything from taking hold. Because my experience has been if you leave them open for a couple of days, even with a bung in them, open meaning empty, that they're gonna have a problem. Yeah. So we try to do that when we know we're going to use a barrel a second time or a third time. We try to have it teed up so as we're emptying them, we're turning around and filling them immediately. Right? So that's what we did on this. So yeah.
Well,
I don't know what else to say.
No, I think that's a good way to describe it, and more exciting things to come on that one.
Hey, the only other thing I wanted to bring up while we're talking about new stuff, and I think we'll talk about this the whole thing a little bit more here in a minute. I don't know what the release plan is yet for the Global Harvest, which is this Belgian triple that we did, but that's ready
next
to
week.
Go also. So,
that's coming out next week, brother.
Yeah. So it's a Belgian triple we did as a project with Hop France, which is the French hop growing group.
Alliance.
Yeah, and my good friend Sebastian Hohentanner is their global sales manager, and he and I do a lot of work together judging this competition down in Mexico. And so, I heard him talking about this project he was working on. I was like, hey, dude, we'd be game to participate in that if you'd have us. And so he went ahead and invited us to do so. And the only real stipulation is we had to make a beer using, French hops. And, they have about a half dozen different varieties now. Traditionally, the traditional French hop is Strissel Spalt. That's been around,
I've
forever.
heard of that one.
And then the next big one is Aramis, which is named after one of the Three Musketeers.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's been around for a while. But now there's like 4 or 5 new varieties, and I wish I could run through every single one of them, but I don't have them off the top of my head. The 2 that we used, I sat down and spoke to Sebastian about what each of the hops could do and what their flavor profile was and how they had seen success using them and so forth. And we picked 2. One is called Elixir and one's called Mistral. And so we decided to make a Belgian triple base and then add these 2 particular hop varieties to it. So we bittered it with the Mistral, and then we did some kettle additions with a blend of both, and then we did we cooled the whirlpool down below 180 degrees Fahrenheit, put a handful of the elixir in, because when you cool the whirlpool down you get a different aromatic and flavor quality out of the hop. And then of course knocked out, dry hopped right at the start of fermentation, and then dry hopped it with both varieties at the end of fermentation.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty hop forward.
Yeah.
Pretty hop forward triple. I mean, we did that intentionally. I think if you're looking for a classic triple, this isn't the beer.
No.
This is more like a triple with a sort of a French hop IPA treatment put on top.
Well, and
of
that's
it.
the point, right? To
Yeah,
showcase.
So we want to make sure the hops come across, and so when we demo it out there, that people have a good understanding of what the hops are capable of.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, John, remind me, that beer, where's that going? Is that going?
So there's 3 places that it's going. One, so I'm going out next week to judge World Beer Cup at the invitation of the Brewers Association out in Colorado. And while I'm out there, Sebastian will be there as well. He'll be helping to judge along with like 150 of our closest beer judge friends.
Oh, yeah.
But he's already got a demo set up at New Realm Brewing. New Realm, is that what the name of it is? It's in Arvada, Colorado, outside suburb of Denver.
Is that related to New Realm?
No, it's not.
It's a different one?
That's got to be something different. I'd have to go look that up. Anyways, we're going to do a demo. It's an industry event, so they've invited other professional brewers. I don't know that that's open to the general public. So we're going to go do that, and then I come back, and we're sending a handful of cases to a similar event at Human Robot in Philly, and then a handful of cases to the Florida Craft Brewers Conference, which is also in Philadelphia.
That's pretty cool.
But I have no plan at this point to go to any of that. So
that's awesome.
He'll be on his own for that one.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. That beer is going to travel to some pretty cool events.
Yep,
in
and
Denver.
you'll be able to buy it in our tap room also if you want to check out what that's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to try that beer. I have not had it yet. So, but John, we could sit here and probably talk about beer all day. Right?
Oh yeah.
We also make some pretty cool food too, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. So we've got some cool features for Easter weekend. Actually, we're going to be open on Sunday. We're open at 10 10 to 4, limited hours. For all those that may not want to cook a big feast, let us do that for you. We've got some smoked ham, smoked turkey specials. We've even got some fancy deviled eggs, I think.
Do we have any jive turkey specials?
I
thought maybe you would know.
Only for you, John.
Okay.
Only for you. But join us this Sunday from 10 to 4 and bring the family and grab a beer and have some Easter fare. Speaking of food, we've been talking about beer a lot. We've got these new beers coming out this week, and we've got the Global Harvest coming out next week. But as far as like everyday food items at the smokery, what do you think would pair well with these new beers that are coming out, Doctor?
You want
to start with
managers meeting?
Yeah, managers meeting.
I think well, first of all, caveat: I haven't actually tried this pairing.
No,
right?
that's okay.
I'm giving you what I think would work, which I think really there's no right or wrong answer. So that's the first thing everyone has to realize. If you like the way that it works together, then it's good pairing.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody might feel a little bit differently about things. So these would be my suggestions, right? So with the Doppelbock, because Doppelbock's already a little bit sweeter. It's got some nutty sort of caramel, little chocolate threads in there. It's got the spiciness from the Amaro. It's got the smokiness from the mezcal. I would probably go with something like our pulled pork or our brisket, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because both of those are going to like build a bridge to the smokiness in there and the spiciness. The brisket has got pepper on the bark, and of course it's smoked. Same with the pork. So those are going to lend itself to each other really well, right? And so when you're pairing food and beer, or really for that matter, any kind of drink, right? There's really like three ways to sort of think about it, right? And so the first way and the easiest thing to do is to complement, right? Like these things have some complementary flavor that you can connect to each other, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, the smokiness from the smoker and the smokiness from the mezcal tie the two things together and make it work, right?
Yeah.
The other way you can do it is you can contrast, right? You can take things that seemingly are polar opposites, right? So as an example, one of the things that I like, doesn't always work for everybody, but like I like to drink IPA with milk chocolate, like when I eat a candy bar.
Oh, okay.
Right, because they're opposites of each other, and so they kind of work together for me, right? Yeah. The third thing is like it's really kind of a surprise, like when you create something, usually this happens when I find this, it's by accident, right? Like, hey, I put beer A with food B, and we got this flavor that got created that no one anticipated.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like exponentially more than what you had thought it was going to be. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the best,
yeah,
but they're also the hardest to achieve. And usually, like I said, usually you stumble over those kind of by accident. But
happy accidents, we call those.
So with the managers meeting, that's where I would go. With the Liquid Picnic, because it's a lighter, more delicate beer, you're going to want something that's lighter and more delicate. And so for me, salads, fish,
salmon wraps,
things like that. Those are going to be
fish
better.
Tacos.
Yeah, or even like poultry, like maybe not smoked turkey. That might still work.
That might work.
But like chicken would be great.
I can see that.
Yeah, that would be a better.
Can I make one recommendation?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the managers meeting, I would say you just order the meat sampler.
That would be great.
And then you just go to town.
Just see how it fits.
How it fits in with all the different.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a serious dish. If you haven't had it, it's got a little bit of everything. Yeah. And then to be able to taste that with managers meeting, I think that'd be all right.
Yeah, I think that would work really well.
Awesome. All right, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, and I think it's pretty good for our first time, our maiden voyage.
I don't know. Tara might fire me after this.
Well,
after this one.
You might be easy to replace. No, you actually have more knowledge than I do. But no, we're excited to be here. Thanks for joining us on our first Share A Pint podcast. We're gearing up for some good weather, some beer drinking weather. We've got some events coming up. We'll talk about later. Our anniversary party's coming in May.
That's right around the corner.
We've got some special events happening out in the market. The Sugar Maple Festival is kind of like our official kickoff to the special event season. So a lot of good stuff to come. But until then, check us out. Find us wherever you find your podcast. Until next time, share a pint, make a friend.
Cheers.
Because sharing a pint is making a friend.
Boom.
Do I have to do it like I'm Anthony Kiedis?